on, Falcon fan? This is Wakando coming back at you with another video. So, guys, the draft is finally over. Heard all the press conference, heard the interviews from Bijan, from the general manager and the head coach Arthur Smith, and the number 8 overall pick was Bijan Robinson. Guys, we know that this really picked up this week a lot coming up around the draft period. Like I said, Peter King, picked it. And a lot of people had him going. If you look around, a lot of analysts started to mock Bijan Robinson to the Atlanta Falcons. When you're looking at the draft, how it folded out, we had a couple trades before the Falcons got the pick. At the time, Tyree Wilson was still there, but then the Vegas Raiders actually took him right before that. Christian Gonzalez was still on the board, and he was the third cornerback taken off. After Deborah Witherspoon went to the Seattle Seahawks, so that was really interesting. But the biggest news, of course, Jalen Carter was still on the board, and the Atlanta Falcons decided to pick Bijan Robinson instead. And then you saw the Philadelphia Eagles move up one spot to go ahead and pick Jalen Carter because they felt that he was one of the best players in the draft. So, guys, I knew that this could be a possibility. We talked about it for the last 2 weeks that this could be a possibility. I also felt that the Falcons could not go wrong wherever they went because they was going to get actually take a great player at this position. Now we talk about Bijan Robinson. If you take away what everybody feels about the value of this position, he is actually one of the best players in this draft. And the potential for what the Falcons can utilize and do with a guy like Bijan Robinson, along with Tyler Algier, Drake London, Kyle Pitts, all these guys, young, still on rookie contracts, that core that can grow it together with Desmond Ridder not having to do so much, because he only got 4 starts. So you come in, you establish that run game, put him in a lot of play actions, utilize all your weapons you got. Jono Smith, Mac Hollins, Scotty Miller. You use all those guys. All right, Cordell Patterson. You'll be able to use every weapon you have at disposal for a young quarterback in Desmond Ridder. And adding Bijan Robinson to this mix is definitely a plus for this Atlanta Falcon team. Now, if you listen to Arthur Smith, he's really excited. Already pretty much, done laid out the vision, what he can see Bijan Robinson doing. Of course, he has so much good receiving ability to actually line up in the slot. He just mentioned on his press conference that he probably had the best hands at the University of Texas at the running back position. So you just put that in with his ability to run the ball. I think him and Tyler Algier is definitely going to be a dynamic duo. What this means for Cordell Patterson, he might line more up in the receiver position and have less touches now because when you got a guy like Bijan Robinson, you take him at the 8th overall pick. He's definitely is going to be a factor in this offense. But Arthur Smith mentioned, and I think what a lot of people is going to take away from this is you're going to be able to pick your poison, right? So line up, plays called for Kyle Pitts. They try to take Kyle Pitts away. But now we got so many different weapons. Drake London, Jonnu Smith, Bijan Robinson, Cordell Patterson. All these guys can actually be factors in your offense. And you take the defense, it's a challenge for them to be able to figure out who's the ball going to, who to take away, how the game plan for the Atlanta Falcons. Because, the Atlanta Falcons could be featured and they're going to go a lot of heavy, 2 tight ends and 12 personnel, 11 personnel, 22 personnel. So many things you can think about the Atlanta Falcons and position they can go. They can line up in the backfield and they can split Bijan Robinson out, correct? They can do the same thing with Kyle Pitts. I mean, it's just so much potential and vision that this Atlanta Falcon offense can do with this number 8th overall pick and Bijan. I think the biggest thing we need to take away, the things they did in the offseason really factored in to their ability to take best player available here. Of course, people might argue that Jalen Carter was the best player available. I could see that point, but it's not up to where we see who the best player available is definitely up to where the Atlanta Falcons factor in who's the best player available. And it's not just really about the tape. When you think about things like this, it's about the whole entire football player as a whole, right? His character, how he fit in with the culture, what kind of person he is on and off the field, how will he fit in the community. All these things factor in when you're actually going to pick a guy in the top 10, because you're going to make him a guy that potentially could be somebody that's going to play football for a long time. So all those things always going to be factored in for any draft pick, and not just for the first round draft pick, for every draft pick that the Atlanta Falcons going to bring in. If you look at the type of guys they brought in so far in these last 2 years, all these guys is high character guys. Look at a guy like Kyle Pitts, really young still, but a guy just all about football, stays in, work hard. That's what you want to see. Really good in the community. So they're just trying to get guys going to fit into this Atlanta Falcon culture. And the last thing I'm going to say about a guy like Bijan Robinson, what they mentioned was, if you look at the way they got so much different versatility, they love the fact a guy like Bijan Robinson has that. A guy like Kyle Pitt has that. A guy like Jonnu Smith has that. A guy like Cordell Patterson has that. So just adding another guy who has that versatility and can be dynamic to help this team on the offensive side of the ball is definitely going to be exciting. We can't get enamored by just the first pick in the draft. A lot of people get upset about that because the Atlanta Falcons didn't take the guy they wanted, but you got to factor in the entire draft to see how this thing folds out, see what the guys they bring in. Whatever you want to say about Atlanta Falcons, they last 2 drafts been really, really successful. A lot of guys have played, have contributed to the team in the last 2 years, and I think this should be the same. We know Bijan is definitely going to be a factor right off the bat, and we hope the next picks that they take on day 2 and day 3 be as well. So guys, let me know what you think about the signing of Bijan Robinson at number 8. Once again, just like last year, I wasn't as surprised as I was last year when they took Drake London. I really thought they was going defense. But this year, I thought they could go any direction. Only thing, Jalen Carter was still on the board, so I thought maybe that would be the direction they go. But have no quarrels about picking Bijan Robinson, because I think he is a dynamic player and probably was the best player on the board. Definitely the best offensive player on the board. So guys, let me know what you think about the number 8 overall pick in this year's draft, and what grade would you give them? Definitely going to give them an A, because and on their board it was the best player available. And this is your boy Ricondo coming back at you with another video. Peace.